Hey guys, it's Undead Bat here. In today's video I'm going to be talking about the quickening mechanic. And I know this is a feature within Zodiac Age that might seem a little bit confusing at first, but hopefully this video is going to break it down as easily as possible. So let's get started. So firstly, what are quickenings? Quickenings are these powerful abilities that each character can unlock. They are activated by mischarges. Mischarges you can consider the fuel for the abilities to take place in the first place. Now, how do you unlock quickenings? At first, when you start playing the game, you have no quickening, so you have to unlock these things called quickening panels on license boards. So in total there are 4, but you can only acquire 3 out of those 4, so you can be very selective on which quickening panels you choose. So the actual icon for quickening panels looks something like this. Here, this is for Ash. So I mentioned a little bit about mischarges in the start. One thing you want to know is that quickenings use the number of mischarges depending on the level of the quickening. So what I mean by that is actually every quickening has its own unique level. It goes from 1 to 3. So when you progressively get new quickenings, you will gain a mischarge each time until you get your last quickening, which is your 3rd quickening. So let's say for example I used a level 2 quickening. That would consume 2 mischarges, and the same stands for the other 2 levels, 1 and 3. So now that we have all that out of the way, let's talk about how it all works. Quickenings are a bit like slot machines, so the outcomes are very random. So for example, if I used Ash to start the quickening in the first place, there's no telling which quickening would go after her. Another thing you want to know is that at the bottom right, if the text is white, that will mean that the quickening is available. If it's grey, that means that it's unavailable. So if all of them are grey, let's say, in that case you would press R2 until you would get 1 or 2 white lines. Next important thing that you want to remember is that quickenings are timed. So as soon as the quickening starts, you are allocated 4 seconds. However, after each quickening you gain a little bit of time. But you always want to be very fast towards which quickening you want to pick. Now I mentioned earlier on that quickenings use up mischarges. So for example, if I used a level 3 quickening by Van, it is still very much possible to use Van. So how that works is, so later on in the quickening sequence, if Van's name appears again and mischarge is beside his name and the text is white, that means I can use his quickening again. However, after I press his button command, it's going to ask for another command straight away, which could easily make you lose time. So to avoid that, what you want to do is you want to just double tap every time you come across mischarge. Just by doing so, you're going to save time for other quickenings in the future. Lastly, let's talk about concurrences. Concurrences are these non-elemental moves that appear at the end of a quickening as soon as the time limit has ran out. However, for a concurrence to appear, a set of rules need to be met beforehand. So for example, if you want Infernal, the weakest concurrence, to appear, you would need to use at least 3 level 1 quickenings in the whole battle for it to appear. I'm going to leave all the concurrences in the description below, so be sure to check them out please. Hope this video helped out in any sort of way. If it did, please be sure to like and subscribe, it really does help, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.